Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear is one of the most humiliating political train wrecks in recent memory. Hakeem Jeffries, he thought he could just walk into Fox News, spin a few talking points, and pretty much walk out looking like a hero. But instead, he snapped. The House Minority Leader lost it live on air when he was confronted with the real truth. The Democrat shutdown, it's backfiring. And their so-called fundraising campaign, oh yeah, it's nothing more than a cash grab that was built on chaos. You got Fox News hosts quartering Hakeem Jeffries. Look, Mike Lawler jumping in. You got Speaker Mike Johnson torching the entire operation, calling out the No Kings rally as a pro-Hamas stunt masquerading as activism. Meanwhile, leaked emails shows Hakeem Jeffries telling supporters to keep the faith, while Democrats are raking in donations off of a shutdown that they caused. And the best part, President Trump, he's not even sweating it for a second. President Trump is so cool about this. In fact, he's already moving military pay forward, outmaneuvering every one of them. Meanwhile, the left is burning itself down on live television. Guys, stay right there because I'm gonna break down every fiery second of this particular meltdown. Hit the like button, subscribe. You're not gonna wanna miss this. In fact, this isn't just politics. This is a public collapse of Democrat narrative, guys. Folks, you saw it, you felt it, the Fox News segment. It wasn't just an interview. This was a political implosion. Hakeem Jeffries, he walked into enemy territory thinking he was just gonna school America on Republican extremism. Well, instead, he got schooled on reality. So it all started when Hakeem Jeffries, clearly quite desperate to control the narrative, agreed to appear live on Fox News. A Democrat on Fox? I mean, you already know that things are bad when they risk that, right? And bad doesn't even begin to describe it. The moment that Hakeem Jeffries sat down, the host hit him with a simple question. You think anybody would be able to answer this, right? He said, if this spending bill keeps the same funding levels that you already voted for, how is it cutting anything? And that's when Jeffries froze. I mean, you could see it in his eyes. His talking points, they weren't going to save him this time. He tried to pivot. He tried rambling about veterans and women and infants and affordable housing, buzzwords straight from the Democratic panic manual, right? But the host calmly reminded this guy nothing was being cut. The levels were identical to what Democrats supported earlier this year. This is when Jeffries' tone changed. In fact, his voice rose, kind of cracked his little smile, and he tried to gaslight the audience, claiming that Republicans were gutting healthcare and taking food out of children's mouths. Well, the Fox News host didn't budge. He pressed again. And that right there, that's when the meltdown began, because by the end of the segment, Jeffries was visibly rattled, interrupting, waving his hands in the air, just trying to talk over the anchor, almost getting really rude at this point. Twitter exploded. Jeffries humiliated on Fox. That started trending within hours. Even Democrats admitted privately that he shouldn't have gone on Fox. In fact, the whole segment exposed what conservatives have been saying for weeks. The shutdown wasn't about policy. It was about power. But that's not where it ended. Oh no, my friends, because just hours after that Fox disaster, a leak dropped that pretty much changed everything. Emails from the DNC and Jeffries' own team surfaced showing that they were actually using the shutdown to fundraise. You heard that right, guys. So while federal workers, TSA agents not getting paid, for example, many other different government employees waiting for their paychecks, while veterans' benefits hung into limbo, Democrats were blasting out donation links. Keep the faith. One of Jeffries' emails read, chip in $10 to fight Trump's extremist shutdown. So I'm in the airport right now, and I have just gone through the TSA. And I must say the TSA was actually a lot more friendly than I would have expected. I've gone to a lot of different TSAs, and a lot of them, they're just complete a-holes. But these were pretty nice. I will say that one of the TSA agents made me aware, and I'm going to see if I can make my way back over there so you can see what I'm talking about. They made me aware that they're currently not being paid. And what was really shocking about this is that in spite of these TSA agents not being paid, I was blown away to find out that they're still incredibly courteous. Like, for example, they had to rerun my bag through the security conveyor belt. Well, for whatever reason, it got flagged and we got delayed a little bit. Let me just show you the TSA thingy. We literally just came through here. So I'm not going to be able to go back through there, unfortunately. I missed my opportunity to record. I wasn't thinking. But since I had already gotten through, I was like, all right, let me just come over here and show you guys a little bit about what I went through. Because, all right, you see that little conveyor belt thingy there? That's where my bag had to go through again. It kind of looks like an MRI. I think, is it MRI? Where they run your body through when you're trying to diagnose a problem, like a healthcare problem. Anyway. So, but everyone over there was super helpful. They were super nice. Definitely a little bit slow, but I mean, the thing is in spite of them not being paid because of the government shutdown, these folks were actually incredibly nice. I was really like overly courteous. And you wouldn't think that they would be all that courteous when they're not getting a paycheck right now. I mean, like, look at the line here. It's not too crazy. They're still getting people through. But this government shutdown is real. And one of the agents, literally, I mean, you can see a TSA agent jacket right there. They're all TSA. Literally confirmed that they are not getting paid right now. Unbelievable. This is the same man that's claiming on Fox News that he was standing for the American people. He was literally cashing in on their misery. And the kicker, the donations, they were routed through the DNC's Emergency Democracy Fund. This was the same account that Democrats used in 2024 for election litigation. Now, within hours, conservative outlets picked it up. Fox, Breitbart, the Daily Wire, everywhere you looked, people were calling it what it really was, a scam, a political grift dressed as a moral outrage. Even some independent journalists on X said it out loud. Jeffries didn't go on Fox to defend policy. He went on Fox to bait outrage and raise money. And it backfired spectacularly. Hashtag Keep the Grift started trending nationwide. In fact, donors felt duped. And the Republican narrative, the Democrats are deliberately prolonging the shutdown for political gain. All of a sudden, there were receipts. This was the moment that everything flipped, guys. The meltdown on air, it was already bad enough. But the leaked emails? That was when the mask really came off. And folks, we're just getting started because when the lies started to collapse, the shouting started. So now let's go ahead and clear the smoke and let's deal with the facts here. Because what Hakeem Jeffries said on Fox News versus what's actually happening in Washington, they're two completely different realities. I mean, the bill that triggered this so-called shutdown, this is what's known as a continuing resolution. This is a short-term extension that literally keeps the government running at the same funding levels that Democrats already voted for back in March. Nothing new, nothing cut, nothing added. So when Jeffries screamed that Republicans are gutting the veterans' care, it wasn't just false. It was calculated. It was a pure lie. It was a pure fear tactic. He already knows those talking points stick with casual viewers. But when Fox News called him out, showed him the numbers line by line, his response wasn't data, it was outrage. Now here's the irony, guys. While Democrats are crying cuts, it's President Trump who actually made sure military pay continued uninterrupted. The commander-in-chief literally reallocated funds from non-essential bureaucratic programs, some of which were funding DEI seminars and gender equality and gender equity initiatives anyway, to make sure that every service member got paid. Drop a military comment down below if you're standing behind Trump's decision to make sure that our service members continue to get paid. So while Jeffries and Schumer were grandstanding in front of the cameras, President Trump, he was governing. In fact, the American people noticed this. Polls showed Republicans gaining support from independents almost overnight because when the dust settles, voters don't remember the noise. They remember who showed up and who got things done. The truth is here, guys, Democrats, they didn't want a resolution. They wanted a crisis that they could sell. And the Fox News appearance proved it. Now imagine opening a bill for $800 because your Medicare plan didn't cover what you thought it did. An $800 bill in the mail, unexpected? Who would be happy to hear about that, right? That's the reality for way too many retirees. And this is why I partnered with Chapter. They review your Medicare coverage so that you're not caught off guard. One viewer said, Chapter saved me from a bill I never could have paid on my own. Wow. So let me ask you, are you ready for the unexpected surprises, or are you going to do what most people already are and avoid them? Now, most people, they're dialing that phone number right there at the bottom of your screen, or they're visiting askchapter.org/Ron. That phone number again, guys, is 909-563-8279. All right, guys. So if the Fox News interview was a spark, what came next was the explosion. Enter Representative Mike Lawler, the Republican from New York who he wasn't about to let Jeffries rewrite history. Oh no. During the follow-up panel, Lawler joined in and lit him up on live television. That's right. Lawler called out Jeffries directly, accusing him of running a shutdown scam while hiding behind fake compassion. That right there is when Jeffries snapped. His composure cracked like glass. He started shouting over Lawler, wagging his finger, even throwing around accusations of racism and misinformation. The clip went viral instantly. Conservatives flooded X with captions like Hakeem loses it, Lawler 1, Jeffries 0. Even liberal commentators admitted that it was a disaster optics moment. Now, here's the key moment that most people remember. Lawler leaned in and said, "You're lying to the American people, Hakeem. You voted for the same spending level 6 months ago. So what changed other than your polling?" Boom. Silence. You could hear the air leaving the room. That one line there, guys, didn't just end the debate. It exposed the Democrats' strategy: manufacture outrage, hope no one checks the facts, and then when cornered, start yelling. That's right. But Americans are done with the yelling. People want results. Drop a results down below if you want results instead of all this drama, right? And once again, it's the Republicans led by President Trump and a new generation of fighters like Lawler showing who's in control. Now, trust me, guys, it's only getting bigger from here, because next I want to break down exactly how President Trump himself flipped the script on this entire shutdown and how the No Kings rally has Democrats in full panic mode. All right, so while Democrats are melting down on live TV, President Donald J. Trump, he was moving chess pieces behind the scenes. And this right here, guys, this is why the American people trust him. Instead of whining about Republican shutdowns or running these donation drives, Trump took action. He reallocated funds from bloated federal programs, bureaucratic nonsense like climate awareness initiatives, and sensitive training contracts, and he made sure one thing never stopped: the troops get paid. That's right. That, my friends, that's leadership. So while Jeffries and Chuck Schumer were pointing fingers, Trump was protecting American families. He instructed agencies to redirect resources toward essential operations, air traffic, veteran services, border patrol, proving that the government doesn't need to punish citizens to stay open. And guess what? It worked. Federal employees who expected missed paychecks, they got deposits on time. Families in military housing got relief. Even CNN had to admit Trump's approval numbers jumped 5 points among independents. What did the Democrats do in response? Well, of course they doubled down. Schumer, he went dark. Jeffries blamed right-wing obstruction, but the reality is they got played. Trump flipped the optics entirely, completely. Suddenly, the shutdown was no longer a Republican liability. It was a Democrat disaster. And that's when the whisper started. Internal DNC leaks saying Hakeem's Fox appearance hurt us. The fundraising looks bad. And you could see it. Panic inside the party. But the storm was only just beginning, because looming just 4 days away, count them, 4 days, guys, is October 18th. The so-called No Kings rally, the left's grand protest to restore democracy, and the timing, suspiciously perfect. Speaker Mike Johnson, he called it exactly what it is: a hate America pro-Hamas gathering. Basically a radical mashup of climate activists, anti-Israel agitators, and social organizers all converging in Washington, D.C., mind you, in order to pressure Congress into giving the left what it wants: a massive inflation-driving spending package. And guess who's been quietly supporting this thing? That's right, guys, Hakeem Jeffries. His team has been amplifying events posts, framing it as grassroots stand against tyranny, but Americans are not buying it. They remember what peaceful protests looked like back in 2020. Peaceful protests, right? Burning cars, smashed windows, and chaos on the streets. Local law enforcement's already bracing for disruptions. Meanwhile, President Trump's authorized additional National Guard coordination, ensuring D.C. stays secure no matter what happened. The narrative is collapsing for Democrats. They thought that the rally would be their comeback moment. But when Johnson's warning and President Trump's firm stance, well, it's shaping up to be another embarrassment. This is one that could redefine how America views their activism, if you know what I mean. So it doesn't stop there, because next, of course, I need to dive into how Johnson and Jeffries collide head on over the rally message and how the media tries and fails to spin it. So by October 14th, the pressure was boiling. In fact, Speaker Mike Johnson, he took to the floor and he didn't hold back. He looked right into the cameras and said, "America will not bow to radicals." And he was talking about the No Kings rally, but everyone knew what he was really talking about. He was talking about Hakeem Jeffries. Johnson accused Jeffries of standing with groups that hate America, siding with activists who burn flags one day and demand taxpayer checks the next. And what was Jeffries' response to that? Well, he called it free speech. That's right, guys. He defended a protest that Johnson says is crawling with anti-Israel, pro-Hamas organizers. And the contrast could not be sharper. On the one side, you got Johnson and Trump projecting strength, order, and patriotism. But on the other side, Jeffries defending a movement that literally calls for dismantling Western systems of power. The media tried to twist it, of course. MSNBC, they ran the headlines like Johnson-Stokes division over peace rally, but the footage doesn't lie. People saw protesters marching with signs reading "No borders, no police, no kings," and Johnson nailed it. That's not democracy, that's anarchy. So for the first time in weeks, even moderate voters began to shift. Johnson's courage to call it what it was, a threat to stability, cut through the noise. And Jeffries, well, he looked weak, trapped between his party's radicals and an American public demanding accountability. So what does a cornered politician do when he's out of arguments? Well, he changes the subject. So during his next Fox News appearance, Jeffries suddenly pivoted to Obamacare subsidies, completely unrelated to the shutdown. He started spouting numbers about premiums tripling and Republicans attacking healthcare, but once again, the host had the receipts. He reminded Jeffries that taxpayers already cover almost 80% of total healthcare premiums, and the current bill doesn't cut a dime of that. So all it does is extend existing funding for a few more weeks. That's when Jeffries' fake calm evaporated. He leaned forward, voice trembling, shouting, "That is unacceptable. We can't negotiate while people are suffering." But the mask was already off, guys. Everyone watching the show, they knew this wasn't about healthcare. It was about leverage. The Democrats were losing control of the shutdown narrative, and Jeffries was just trying to change the subject before the party completely imploded. Within hours, clips of the segment went viral again. Conservatives laughing at his meltdown, liberals calling it passionate advocacy. But the truth, it was undeniable. He got caught using healthcare as a political shield. Now, at this point, even Democrat donors were calling it what it was: damage control. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for the Democrats, it did. Because next, I need to talk about the polls collapsing, the fundraising drying up, and the moment Trump and Johnson reclaimed total control of the shutdown story. And this right here, folks, this is where the Democrats finally hit the wall. The meltdown on Fox, the fundraising scandal, the No Kings rally, it all started snowballing. By mid-October, internal DNC numbers leaked, showing what we already knew. The American people weren't buying it anymore. In fact, a Rasmussen poll showed 61% of voters blaming Democrats for the ongoing shutdown. A majority said that they believed the left was intentionally dragging it out for political gain. Even CNN had to run the headline, "Democrats losing the shutdown battle." I couldn't believe CNN did that. Inside sources claimed Jeffries' team was in panic mode, canceling media hits, freezing new ads, and privately begging donors not to bail out on them. That "Keep the Faith" email that was supposed to fire up supporters, well, it turned into a meme. Millions of Americans started using hashtag "Keep the Grift" instead. Meanwhile, Republican donors surged. Grassroots fundraising for the GOP hit its highest level since Trump's reelection. Voters were sending a message. They were tired of the fear tactics and they just wanted real leadership. So even when Democratic strategists admitted it, one leaked memo said, "Jeffries' optics have damaged confidence. The Fox News interview was a mistake." Wow. That was a game changer right there. That leak destroyed them. In fact, the once confident Democrats suddenly looked more like the party of panic. Schumer went silent. Jeffries avoided questions. The shutdown advantage that they thought that they had, gone, blown up by their own arrogance and a single disastrous appearance on Fox News. Then, when those new polls dropped, showing Trump's approval soaring past 55%, oh, it was game over. So by October 14th, the writing was on the wall. President Trump took to the podium at the White House and delivered what might go down as one of the defining moments of his second term. Calm, confident, unapologetic, he announced that the shutdown would end under a clean, fair, and patriotic budget, one that funds the military, protects the border, and cuts wasteful spending. The crowd outside the White House erupted. Even some Democrats applauded when President Trump said, "We will never again allow political games to hold America hostage." Speaker Mike Johnson, he followed with a statement of his own, praising Trump for ending the chaos that the left created. Together, they flipped the script entirely. The shutdown was no longer a story about division, it was a story about restoration. Meanwhile, Hakeem Jeffries, he was nowhere to be found. No TV appearances, no fiery statements. His approval ratings dropped to its lowest point since he took leadership. His Keep the Faith slogan became the punchline of late night conservative shows. And this is how it all came crashing down. Like one desperate Fox News appearance, one leaked fundraising email, one rally gone wrong. The Democrats thought that they could weaponize chaos, but chaos turned around and destroyed them instead. Trump's steady hand and Johnson's moral clarity, it didn't just win a news cycle. They reclaimed the narrative, the economy, and of course, the trust of the American people. So if you're wondering what happens when lies, arrogance, and activism collide with truth and leadership, look no further than this week, because history is going to remember this as the moment the meltdown became a reckoning. Now, folks, if you made it this far, you already know the truth that the media won't say out loud. Hakeem Jeffries didn't just lose an argument. He exposed the entire Democrat playbook. So make sure to like the video, comment, and share this video so that every American sees what really happened. This is Ron reporting the truth, not the narrative. I'll see you guys next time.